all the antics that you see in a press conference, I understand they're selling a fight and there's understanding all this, but I think the way he was going about it was completely, like, so stupid. And I was going to let
Tyson Fury's half-brother, Tommy Fury, has lashed out at Tyson Fury, having gotten irritated by the back and forth between him and John Fury. Tyson Fury and John Fury have been at loggerheads since Tyson's fight against Usyk. The rift had started before the fight, the moment Tyson Fury chose to travel far away to Malta for his training camp without involving his father, who's usually one of his cornermen.
I think so. I mean, as far as anything, you know, no one's ever seen him like this. You know, he's not bothered, he's not interested in speaking to anybody, he's just tunnel visioned. You know, he's only thinking about...
After leaving his father behind, Tyson Fury also didn't reach out to any of his family members for 3 months in a bid to get fully concentrated before his unified World Heavyweight Championship rematch against Alexander Usyk. Well, all of these didn't sit well with John Fury, and the worst part was that it all ended in a loss. A worse loss than the first fight in May that had John Fury in Tyson Fury's corner. As a result, John has been firing shots at Tyson Fury, following such a humiliating loss for his son.
I'm not the leader.
You're the father of the clan.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, put me right.
No, you okay?
Are you happy with that tonight?
First of all, I gotta say, congratulations.
Everyone expects John Fury to act fatherly and be compassionate towards his son, but Tyson probably went too far in his attempt to seek revenge. Besides, we shouldn't forget it's John Fury we're talking about, the fighting man who's always inclined to making grave mistakes. John's comments forced Tyson Fury to fire back, and now Tommy Fury is trolling Tyson for his comments at their father.
He made $10 million at this fight. He's 24 years old, he's out of his 10-fight career. It's unbelievable. Like, I'm very, very proud of where he's...
Talking about his brother, Tommy Fury said Tyson's a sore loser that could go to any lengths after losing. He then warned him not to go after their father. He said Tyson knows no one comes after dad, adding that Tyson Fury got things wrong when he listened to others T3 John Fury out of his corner.
General thoughts on the fight, Jason Perillo, talk about some striking, and then speak to Brady if it was necessary. You can't have people just getting emotional and trying to be heard and be seen on camera.
Some even claimed Fury's father had been a hindrance to him during the fight, rather than a help, as he sought to overcome Usyk. Discussing the fight on his YouTube channel, UFC Hall of Famer Michael Bisping placed further blame on John. People online are saying that the corner work was absolute shambles because John Fury was screaming over the top of Sugar Hill Stewart, he began. John Fury was screaming over the top, so you're sitting there getting conflicting advice when you need a cool, calm, collected corner. You can't have people getting emotional and trying to be heard and be seen on camera, he continued.
Of course, John Fury's his father and he's emotionally invested, but sometimes you gotta know your place. So people were saying the corner was a shambles, and he's saying that if I was told, Tyson...
Of course, John Fury is his father and he's emotionally invested, but sometimes you have got to know your place. Truly, the fight showed that Sugar Hill's role as head trainer was undermined with various instructions. In the past, John Fury has spoken out against Sugar Hill, saying he should be fired. This was after the trainer denied reports that he was in England to train Fury for a Usyk fight in 2023.
Fury, that I was losing, I would have gone out there and tried to stop the fight. The reality is, I'm not trying to rip on Tyson Fury. He was trying to stop the fight the whole time. Nobody plans on going to the judges.
That removed suggestions that Fury was serious about fighting the Ukrainian last year. And since Sugar Hill is the head trainer, John Fury has been told to go following the fight. Fans suggested that his presence distracted from tactical advice being offered by his coach, Andy Lee, and trainer Sugar Hill Stewart, costing his son the fight.
I don't think we're ever going to hear John Fury say those words again. John Fury was screaming over the top of Sugar Lee, right? So your corner is sitting there getting conflicting advice.
One fan wrote, Fury's corner consisted of two incredibly intelligent boxing people in Sugar Hill and Andy Lee, trying to impart some astute tactical game plan, only to be repeatedly drowned out by John Fury shouting, "Use the jab, we're fighting men." John Fury shouldn't be anywhere near this, constantly talking to two guys who actually know what they are talking about, another added. One thing is certain though, Tyson Fury needs to keep John Fury out of the training camp, the build-up, and especially out of his corner for the next fight.
Don't be afraid to slide in. Slide in. Quit pulling back when you're getting caught. Win these 2 rounds. Go, Timmy.
You need a cool, calm, collected corner.
The man is a huge hindrance and distraction to the team as a whole, claimed a third. A clip had shown Stewart offering Fury advice ahead of the final 2 rounds of the fight, saying, "Don't cross your goddamn legs, be ready to punch," before adding, "Don't be afraid to slide in, quit pulling back or you'll get caught." John Fury could also be heard offering advice to his son, repeatedly saying, "Light punches, light punches."
The corner work for 60 seconds in a situation where the stakes are so high is absolutely vital. A lot of the time, they don't need to tell them how to box.
He was also heard talking over Stewart, telling Fury to box and move, while Fury was told by his corner that he was winning the fight. A fan claimed John Fury's comments contradicted Stewart's tactical advice, potentially adding confusion for Tyson Fury ahead of the final rounds. John Fury was basically contradicting what Sugar Hill was saying in the corner, telling Fury to box and move and throw light punches after Hill told him to take the fight to Usyk and throw power shots. One fan wrote,
But you need to calm their minds. You need to give them an accurate reflection of what is going on in the fight, and therefore go out there, spot 1 or 2 key little things. You can't have
Tommy Fury appeared remarkably glum as he anticipated his brother Tyson's heavyweight showdown with Alexander Usyk on Saturday. Despite being at ringside in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for Tyson's crucial bout, aiming to avenge his sole professional loss against champion Usyk in May, the 25-year-old boxer and reality star seemed visibly downcast during the undercard events at Kingdom Arena.
You know, he's putting a good bit of weight for this, and obviously, I think I always said, you know, Tyson's always better when he's got a bit of weight on him. You know, I'm not making excuses or anything for the last fight, but I believe Tyson performs.
Perhaps he already saw the final results coming and could sense his brother's loss, as nothing really explains Tommy Fury's mood better on fight night. Amidst Tommy's search for a new adversary after his Misfits boxing matchup with ex-UFC fighter Darren Till was cancelled, he explained what led to the decision to call off their January 15th bout in Manchester.
In 2018, Tommy didn't have $10 for a bus pass. Today, Tommy's got a hell of a lot of money, millions of dollars in his account, so I'm very proud of him. He can buy what he wants.
Following a heated press conference in which the build-up spiraled into chaos, the fight gradually found its way out of existence. At a heated press conference, Till's taunts pushed Fury's father, John, to hurl water in retaliation. Trouble began when John Fury, the head of the Fury family, sparked chaos by throwing water at the 31-year-old Darren Till during the press conference. The aftermath saw the former UFC fighter threatening to use his MMA skills, especially his kicks, if the fight started going south in the ring. However, a former UFC referee feels this wouldn't have been the case.
MMA fighters can't box and
Tommy, you've got the IQ of a loaf of bread. What are you on about? You're an idiot. You're an absolute...
The younger Fury brother, @10-0, used his social media handles to announce the fight's cancellation. He admitted that he feared Till might not adhere to the pro boxing rules if he started losing the fight. He wrote, "I can't believe I'm writing this, but I am now not fighting Darren Till on January 18th, 2025, he wrote in a lengthy statement. For the one simple reason being that Darren has stated over and over that he does not want to abide by professional boxing rules, and that if he is losing the fight, he will resort to kicking and other stupid MMA tactics."
People in Liverpool, and you're turned out not to be one of them, pal. I know some good people in Liverpool, and I tell you what, you are a disgrace to Liverpool. I'm a cunt and I'm an arsehole. Yeah. You've also got a cunt's face, I know that. And 2 times
I am a professional boxer. I have been out of the ring for over a year, and I wanted this to be a great boxing fight for the fans. I have wasted weeks in training camp. We are working hard to get a new opponent and date. I promise to get a better opponent and better fight for you guys. Good news around the corner. The decision to skip the fight has been laughed at by many in the combat world, particularly given that Fury previously joked about elbowing KSI in their fight.
It looks like the respect was very short-lived. Darren?
No, they swallowed it. I called it off. Fuck you, big size.
However, former UFC referee Big John McCarthy wasn't happy with the announcement and shared his honest opinion on Tommy Fury's pullout. Josh the Punk Thompson and Big John McCarthy were looking forward to the clash but felt Fury made the wrong move. Thompson believes that Fury simply didn't want to sacrifice his Christmas break for a fight camp and may attempt to rearrange the bout at a later date. It would make for a good fight and a very fun fight, he explained as he pushed for the matchup to be rescheduled. I hope they can work this all out, but if anything, even if it does come to fruition later on, this is a good little segue into promoting their fight. We're talking about it right now. If they can put it on at a later date, maybe Tommy didn't want to fight during Christmas time or New Year's. Maybe he didn't want to train during this time, so what did he do? He probably said, you know what? I'm going to cancel this fight now and I'll renegotiate back at the end of January. He'll get himself back into shape and then they can fight sometime in March. McCarthy was not as sympathetic towards Fury's cause as Thompson, believing it to be an absurd reason to pull out of the fight. Till had a contractual clause that made using any illegal moves result in a 100% fine of his purse.
It's been a mammoth task to just get back here. The amount of physio and recovery needed, the amount of sparring sessions that I've had just to get my hand back. The last thing I want is to be beating Darren Till up, and then his ego comes in. I can't lose to Tommy Fury. I'm a proper fighter. All my mates are here.
After Fury slammed Till and called him an idiot, McCarthy clapped back by saying, I think Tommy should look in the mirror. Look, okay, this is a boxing match and that's fine, but he's sitting there saying that he's worried about Darren Till fouling? Really? Like any opponent that you're going to go up against can't foul or cannot claim, oh, I'm going to do this? He said Darren Till stated he was going to take him down. Darren Till hasn't taken anyone down in MMA ever. The former UFC referee feels Till said all that stuff just to get a reaction out of him and wouldn't have kicked him. While speaking to Thompson, he said Darren Till stated that he was going to take him down. Darren Till hasn't taken anyone down in MMA ever.
Let me take him down and get disqualified. I'm not interested in that. I don't care. There's a lot bigger fights for me out there, like a lot bigger fights. So it is what it is. I don't really want to spend too much time talking about it. He had his chance. That's why I picked him.
He said I might do a high kick during the fight, okay? And if he does, guess what's going to happen, Josh? He's going to lose. The referee is going to disqualify him. It just happened recently in a boxing fight where we had an MMA guy against a boxer getting a little touched, and he says, damn it, and throws it up. Then he lost, and this is what people don't understand. If it happens where you have a commission that's in charge of it, not only do you lose, but you don't get paid. Your money gets held and they'll decide how much they're going to give you. So not only do you lose out on your money and put yourself in a position where guys aren't going to fight you again. So Darren Till is talking, he's making chatter to bring up interest in the fight and put Tommy in a position where he's got to say something back. Tommy Fury ends up just taking the entire bait, hook, everything, and pulls out of the fight. I'm just going to say it right now. You don't want to fight.
And we're on with making a pretty big fight. You know, at the end of the day, I believe the next time you see me in the ring, you'll wanted to see this one more than Darren Till. Misfits? I'm not going to say anything too much yet because there is still a lot on the table.
While fans may have taken Till's comments as playful banter, Fury didn't see it that way. His focus wasn't just on the fight. It was about preserving the integrity of boxing, or so it seems. Or maybe he just doesn't want to fight Darren Till. The situation didn't stop there, though, as a fired-up Fury continued to take aim with more heated remarks. Till, who left the UFC in 2023, had made waves earlier this year with a TKO win over Muhammad Muti, followed by fiery callouts of Mike Perry, Jake Paul, and Fury himself. Yet, in a twist no one saw coming, Fury shocked the world by announcing his withdrawal, leaving questions swirling about what went wrong. And in a recent interview, he placed the blame firmly on Till's shoulders.
You know, from a lot of different organisations. You know, I'm in a great position. I am, regardless of what them other two say. I beat Jake Paul, I beat KSI, so obviously they're going to be a little bit bitter and they're going to say what they're going to say, but I've been out the ring a long time and there's a lot.
In a recent interview with IFL TV, shared on X by ACD MMA, Tommy Fury was asked what happened that led to the fight with Darren Till being cancelled. While the boxer had put out a social media post to announce the bout being off, in the interview, he held nothing back. Fury fired off by stating, "At the end of the day, I'm a professional fighter. And the reason why I picked Darren wasn't to then scrap the card. It's because Darren has not got a business brain. Darren's what he is at the end of the day." The trouble seemingly began with the Liverpool native's comments during the aforementioned press conference. How? Fury explained,
He's just in that zone. He's not interested in anything else. We're getting the job done tomorrow, and I firmly believe he does it in style.
Do you think he has to perform differently? Tyson said he hasn't got to do too much more because it was a close fight, but do you think he has to do a lot more?
Not a lot more. I mean, listen, at the end of the day,
The last thing I want to do is have somebody losing a couple of rounds and do something stupid, like take me down and do whatever. I'm not interested in those circuits. I know it's misfits. I know it's all they all love, but I don't want that for my career. So at the end of the day, you got a man on the phone to betting companies or whatever saying he's gonna do this and do that. While fans might have brushed off Till's remarks as banter, Fury saw it differently. His concern wasn't just about the fight itself. It was about protecting the sanctity of boxing. But it didn't end there, as a fired-up Fury continued to fire off shots at Till by stating, "He's an idiot, and he blew it for his whole family and his whole team, whatever." But that's what happens when you think you're clever when you're really not. I wanted a proper fight, and the man's talking about rolling around on the ground. If I wanted to do that, I'd have gone to MMA.
Time here, but situation with you, obviously we were looking forward to yourself and Darren Till fighting next month. That's not to be the case anymore. Can you just kind of shed some light on that situation? I know you...
Till, for his part, claimed his comments were taken out of context. He suggested his remarks were made tongue-in-cheek and not meant to be taken seriously, but Fury wasn't buying it. He pointed to Till's previous exhibition match, which he described as chaotic and unprofessional, as it did end a scuffle inside the ring. By throwing away the fight, Till not only cost himself a lucrative opportunity, but also tarnished his standing in the boxing world, according to Fury. However, the British boxer hasn't escaped unscathed from the aftermath of his withdrawal from this bout. Many prominent voices, including a man who shared the ring with him in his last fight, have now come out to blast Fury for seemingly running away from a fight.
Darren's what he is at the end of the day. I'm coming here to fight. You know, I've had a year and a bit out of the ring. The last thing I want to do is have somebody losing a couple of rounds and do something stupid, like take me down and do whatever.
KSI and Till joined forces to blast Fury for getting intimidated by mind games. The fight world is a cauldron of egos, mind games, and sometimes outright chaos. Tommy Fury pulling out of his January bout against Darren Till has stirred that pot to a boiling point. But while Fury cited concerns about rule-breaking antics, KSI has a different story, and it's not flattering. The YouTube star and occasional pugilist pulled no punches in his recent comments. Speaking on his YouTube channel, he stated, "Darren Till was never going to kick Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury is just a freaking idiot and didn't want to get in the ring with Darren because I think he got intimidated by him. Simple as that, damn Tommy Fury."
He's an idiot. He blew it for his whole family and his whole team, whatever. But that's what happens when you think you're clever, when you're really not. At the end of the day, I wanted the proper fight, and the man's talking about roll around.
KSI didn't stop there. He dove into Fury's personal life with the finesse of a sledgehammer, mocking everything from his past relationships to his struggles in the ring. But if KSI's words stung, Darren Till may have hit like a freight train. Known for his sharp tongue, Till wasn't about to let Fury off lightly. In a series of fiery social media posts, the gorilla stated, "I have always abided by the rules of fighting my whole life. I was building the fight with Tommy and saying things I knew he would shift himself from because I know deep down he's not a real fighting man. And now it's come to fruition, what I have said is true. He has pulled out and shown his true colors." Dissatisfied with Till's cavalier approach to their bout, Tommy shared with the stomping ground.
If I wanted to do that, I'd have gone to MMA, wouldn't I? So listen, I don't lose no sleep over Darren Till, believe me.
Tommy, he did make some comparisons to comments you'd made previous.
The way he was going about it was so stupid. I was going to let it go at the press conference. I wasn't really interested. However, post-conference advice from his management prompted him to reconsider. But then my manager rang me a few days afterwards and he's like, "This fella's talking to betting companies about if he's losing the fight, he's going to do this, and if he's losing the fight, he's going to do that." I then saw his first fight. I hadn't watched it at the time, and that ended in some big brawl, and I thought to myself, what am I doing? At the end of the day, Darren Till is a man with no brain cells. He was going to get the highest payday of his career, but that's now dead in the water. I'm at a stage in my career now where I don't need to be rolling around the floor with Darren Till, and that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.